West, the team who has also been consistently climbing up the standings, has kind of taken the opposite approach to what you were just laying out, Logan, with the prioritizing role players. This is a team that has some good role guys, but they've gone in on that classic Big Three model, and that is the LA Clippers. Logan, are they now the favorite to you out West?
They're not the favorite to me out West, but they are second in the Western Conference, and I think they give the Nuggets the best run for their money at this point in time. The Lakers are in perpetual disarray.
Yeah.
The Warriors still haven't figured it out. I don't trust
LeBron tweeted the hourglass emoji. I repeat, LeBron has tweeted the hourglass
DEFCON
emoji.
5, DEFCON 5, sound the alarm, sound the alarm.
Woo!
I don't trust the Suns bench of role players, and then I just think the Timberwolves and Thunder are really young. And so that leaves, and I certainly don't trust my Sacramento Kings. I don't even think we need to address that. Since acquiring James Harden, that is November 6th, 2023 and on, they're number 6 in offensive rating, tied 11th in defensive rating, and 6th in net rating. You just think about the recipe for the playoffs. They have a bona fide number 1 in Kawhi Leonard. That man is the Terminator. He is always going to show up. He's always going to ball out. They have a dream number 2. If you built a dream number 2 in a lab, it would be Paul George. You got playoff P. They finally have a true point guard to stabilize the offense in James Harden. And he is playing selfless, good basketball like you have harped on all season long, Carson. He has the advantage of being able to go up against a team's third best perimeter defender. They have an interior beast in Big Zoo, who is currently injured right now, but he is a huge component of this team's playoff recipe. He is their Hulk. The Clippers need their Hulk. They need Big Zoo. And then I like their depth. Terrence Mann, Russell Westbrook, Norm Powell, Mason Plumlee. They've got good bench pieces. Injuries are seemingly the only thing that I think can hold this team back. Kawhi, PG Harden, perennially injured. Zoo, like I said, dealing with a calf strain out a month. I really buy into this team. They play good flowing basketball. They've got good defenders. They've got an interior guy that can anchor the glass and good depth. To me, Carson, I just wish they had a few more bench wings. If they could have somehow held on to, Batum or Rocco, you give those guys up to get Harden, obviously. I just wish they had a few more bench wings because I think the thing that's going to come back to bite LA, and again, hypothetically, I'm not counting the Clippers out. I think they could outshoot the Nuggets. If you go, if they just go on a torrential shooting run for the series, they could knock them off. They're just undersized, and I think they lose in the physicality and athletic categories matched up with Denver. I think Denver has the physical advantages. Obviously, Jokic on the inside, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr. They've just got big bodies, man. And then I think about the bench, and I think that their bench is kind of completely outmatched. Even with the young Nuggets, I think Peyton Watson, I think Christian Brown, I think those guys are just more physical and athletic. What a word.
I love that.
Athletic. They just have athletic advantages over the bench where I think that that's going to matter. They're going to play better defense. They're going to rebound harder than this Clippers bench. But the Clippers have flamethrowers. That's the only red flag I have with this team, or two red flags. The injuries with the star guys that always concern me, and then the size and athletic, the physical wing depth. I wish they had a couple other guys, but the Clippers scare me other than any other team out west. And the West is, I think you said this in our group chat, it's just surprisingly weak to what I expected coming into this season, man. I expected a lot more out of the top dogs out west. The Suns, the Kings, the Lakers, the Warriors. I expected a lot more than them. So it's a balance of both things. I think the Clippers are a lot better than I expected, and the West is just surprisingly disappointing this far in the season.
I totally agree on those last 2 points. They are clearly number 2 out west to me, and I held on to the Timberwolves for a while compared to the Clippers, and when they made the Harden trade, sort of like what we were just talking about with OG, I thought, yeah, okay, this is going to make them a little bit better, but it's not going to completely change their outlook. But I have come around on this team. They're playing awesome basketball. In the new year, they have an offensive rating of 124.5.
That's disgusting. That's disgusting.
Logan. It's insane. They are an elite shooting team, the most accurate three-point shooting team in the NBA. They're athletic on the perimeter. They honestly play with solid physicality, like you mentioned. Maybe they're undersized compared to Denver, but overall, they have a lot of athletic wings. They're not slight wings when you're talking about Kawhi, when you're talking about a 6'8 PG. So their size is overall pretty solid. And then they have the elite skill that comes from 3-star creators who are also very experienced and have consistently been in deep playoff runs. And like you said, in a majority of matchups, Kawhi is going to be the best dude on the floor. He's not going to be the best dude on the floor against Denver, but outside of that, against the Timberwolves, he would certainly be. Against the Thunder, I love SGA. I think SGA is like a top 7 player on the planet right now. I still don't know in that playoff environment, man. And then against anybody else, against the Suns, he would be the best player on the floor. I think that in a playoff environment, his insane strength plus insane shot making plus still high-level two-way impact puts him above both KD and Book to me. So that really matters. And the depth here is solid. I get what you're saying in terms of like those bigger two-way wings because you don't have a Batum anymore. But you still have athleticism on the perimeter from the bench guys with Russ and Norman Powell. Like those are two pretty damn good 6th and 7th men. So they just don't have that major red flag. They do have little red flags. And they're the same things that have plagued this Clippers team forever. They are not going to apply that really high-level rim pressure, which matters because when you're reliant on pull-up shooting and perimeter shooting overall, when you're overly reliant on it, you're susceptible to some volatility, and that has been the thing that has dragged them down historically. I don't think they have an elite two-way ceiling, but I think that they're still pretty good there. I'm concerned about Harden scoring at the same clip in the playoffs, but he's the number 3 option now, so the burden is less. So all of these concerns that I would have flagged about this team, yeah, most of them still exist, but they're less pressing. And now it seems like they matter more in relation to just Denver than it does in relation to the rest of the field because some of those other concerns have gotten bigger. Like, I just don't know with Minnesota's offense at this point if they can hang going blow for blow against these elite high-powered offenses. This is a team that is really consistently great on that side of the ball, has multiple star guys, has solid role players. They are playing really well, and I think that we have to give them props for the Harden trade because even if they don't win the title, which I still wouldn't expect them to do, and I do still think that there's a gap between them and Denver. I want to be clear because I think there's going to be a lot of people who say the Clippers are the favorite, the Clippers are the favorite, and I think that that is to some extent diminishing how great this Denver team can be, how great they were in last year's playoff run, how unstoppable that offense is, how huge they are, how historically great Jokic is. For all those reasons, Denver's still in a different class to me, but the Clippers have separated from everybody else out west.
Yeah, when you forgot the last red flag, and that's just that they're the Clippers. You know, I mean, it's something.
And also injuries, which it's kind of like, all right, what can you do about that? That doesn't speak to who they are as a basketball team at full strength, but they are 1,000% more susceptible to that than any other high-level contender in the league.
This doesn't have much to do with, like, actual on-court basketball, but I am excited that the Intuit Dome is coming and the Clippers can finally have their own home, bro.
The wall!
Doesn't that look intimidating, man?
I think it's awesome.
I think it looks scary, man. I'm a good free throw shooter. I'd be scared to shoot free throws there, man.
People are clowning on it because it's the Clippers, and it's how are they going to sell those out?
Fuck, man.
Against the Lakers, I do legitimately wonder how are they going to fill that because they won't allow opposing fans. 90% of the fans are going to be Lakers. But I love Steve Ballmer, dude. I kind of wish that he got a fan base that cared more. That could match his level of passion.
You got to win first, man.
Yeah, dude, but they've been really good for the last 5 years. They got Kawhi and PG. They're getting stars. They have Kawhi, PG, Russ, and James Harden on the same team. Like, even though obviously Russ isn't a star, Harden isn't what he used to be, that should be putting people in the stands.
Yeah.
They just don't have the culture as a fan base. But shout out to Ballmer. He's doing what he can.
He is. I'm excited, though. I think it's... I hope that this can be, you know, what finally jumpstarts this franchise. You know what I mean? They finally have their own home. And I'm glad they got the stars locked up, man, because they need them to fill that place. I completely agree with you, too, though. I would not put them over Denver. I think that is I don't think that's giving enough credence to what they did last year, but I wouldn't count the Clippers out either, man. I did not expect this, dude. I kind of wrote the Clippers off right as the Harden trade happened, man, and they have done a 180. They're real contenders out west, man.
Kind of like what you've done to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, well, I'm not changing on that, though. That's done. The Bucks are done. DOA.
Okay, man. I'm not so sure about that.
It's
They got
Doc.
a lot of
It's
talent.
Doc.
Doc has won an NBA title, Logan. Again, he is not an eject button. He is not a literal one-man sabotage crew. But this is an incredible 180 because all of the flaws that this team could have had were so pronounced for those first 6 games. They started 0-6 with Harden, and since then they have been nearly unbeatable. So I'm very excited to see what they can do in the playoffs. I love Kawhi, and it's great to have a team that at least it's like, okay, they're going to be fun to watch against Denver because the rest of the West is so flawed. Like, I love OKC. I just think they're too young. I think they're too slight in the front court. Shout out to Minnesota. They keep winning games. That defense is awesome. I worry about their offense and entrusting Ant, as good as he is, to be the guy on like a Western Conference Finals or deeper playoff run. I'm not saying they can't do it. It just seems a little bit less likely than the Clippers maintaining what they're doing right now.